Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toku Portal podcast for Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger. I am Vashi V, and joining me today is...
The Decade. And today we're talking about episode 2. So, we start off with the opening. Pretty great. Get us right into the mood. Koa is looking for Tiramigo, which is what he named his Kishiryu. Melto tells him that all the Kishiryu are gone, so they set out to find them. AKA, they leave their ruined temple and have to go into the city. So, Melto recaps what they learned, but adds that Minosaurs are made from the negative energy of humans. And they pretty much need the Kishiryu to defeat them. Then someone's stomach rumbles. It's Ui nearby, and she actually has a drawing of one on her phone. Yeah, any thoughts before going?
One, I love the opening. For this being a new series, for me, at least to start with, the openings are kind of, hit or miss on whether or not I enjoy them to start with, and I actually did enjoy this one. The fact that Ko just up and named the Zords, I think is just funny. Because, especially for one that's clearly sentient, which is the case with actually the majority of Sentai's mechs, for it to just go, yeah, you're now Tiramigo. And it just to go, cool, fine, whatever, and not just go, no. I think is odd, because usually they just have, names that are written in the lore, or whatever, for wherever these Zords came from. It was a good premise to get them out and away from the now ruined temple. And the fact that it just happens to be there, because apparently now she's just stalking them. And I have to point out what Rai told me, since he's not here today. Because I got one message from him while he was watching this episode. And it is quite clear, it is exactly having X8 flashbacks. Because that's pretty much how the monsters work. It's just not a medical condition this time. As the monster gets more powerful, the human dies. So, pretty much the same idea, just done differently. Could have done without the goop going into, the human's face.
Yes, I will cover that right now. So we cut to this fencer. He's training pretty hard, but he actually looks pretty furious. And then he freezes as Crayon pours some slime in his mouth and announces the birth of a Minosaur, which starts growing right beside him. Yeah, pretty gross.
It would have been fine if it wasn't so close up.
Yeah, the camera was right on his mouth. So we cut to Ui's home. Melto is fascinated by the fossils and notes there. Turns out that Ui's dad is a paleontologist. Ui asks if they can stay there, and her dad gladly agrees. Since, like Sogo, Ui really doesn't have any friends. And then he tells the knights where he found the ruins of a temple. So they begin searching. Melto uses Kike Soul and hears some fencers nearby. Ko wonders if they're the other Ryusoulgers. Yeah, he's not too smart, but it's kind of funny. So Mishima, the fencer who got slimed, tells Ui that he hasn't seen his daughter in 2 years, and he won't return home until he becomes the best in Japan. Something we don't really see a lot of in America. We're more carefree, but for Japan sports, kind of makes sense. But any thoughts?
I want to point out that Ui's dad specifically was talking to Ko and holding his hands like he just found the boy who's going to marry his daughter. It was slightly creepy and just made you guys can stay here. She doesn't have any friends. It's come across as, oh, thank God she found a man. And Ko being kind of airheaded is a better take on what they did with Ninja. Because Red Ninja was kind of airheaded too. It's like the difference is here it kind of works. Because at least I guess you can give a rough explanation for why, like, he would confuse the sound of fencing swords with swords, and just think, hey, I'm hearing, metal clanging together. That must be the other real soldiers. If we put it in the theory that they have never been outside the temple before, then that works. Otherwise, she's just a moron. Because, Japan is all about the swords. And yeah, it's like, with the striving to be the best, so I'm gonna disappear from my family thing, it doesn't really happen too much here in the US. So it's a unique take that, from my point of view, is not something I'm used to. But it works with having seen a lot of Sentai and Toku and a lot of Japanese and Asian films, and studying the culture and all that, is like, it's very normal thing to happen. I like the fact that Yui's just up and helping them out as well, because that was kind of funny, that them stopping Ko from just barging into the fencing group.
Yeah, I do like that already we're seeing another side of Ui. I was a bit worried that she would just be a meme humor character, but
like
that doesn't seem like it's going to be the case.
I know I missed a podcast last week, but yeah, that's how she came across to me the first episode. It's just that I'm just a lunatic. Hey, Rai has made it. Welcome, Rai.
Hello, Vashi. Sorry I'm late.
But that was one of the things I was worried about, is like, because we already have the character that's kind of, dumb humor-ish, which would be Ko. So for them to have just that sidekick character be that as well just seemed odd. And I did want to point out, she is just a lying ass. She is lying to YouTube. And badly. I'm in the Amazon. Nope, I'm in the middle of the woods in Japan. That deceived me. Because I like the idea that the Sentai team that exists is not from Japan. I like that premise. It's why I liked King in Kishiryu Ryusoulger, because technically he wasn't in Japan. He just kind of got found by the bird person, Torin.
So you're mad that her ploy worked on you?
Yes, because I am as gullible as all of her followers on YouTube.
I suspect that number is particularly small.
Yeah, probably.
I was listening to a little bit before I jumped in here on my phone. I did not consider that her dad the way her dad was looking at Ko was like, thank God she brought home a man.
The reason why I thought it was because literally he ignored everybody else. He ignored both Asuna and Melto, like, entirely, and rushed straight to Ko. Like, for me, if it was more of a, hey, she brought home friends, he would have been more inclusive to, like, at least look at the others and kind of maybe gesture.
Hell, in America, he would have been more inclined to look at the other female as like, a friend, and then look at the guys and go, wait, you want them to stay?
Yeah, that's how that would have gone here. Possibly with a shotgun cocking.
As for the fencing father leaving his family for his career, the thing that stands out to me is like he's doing that to impress his family. But I don't know, it's definitely a culture thing, but wouldn't his family be more impressed by the father who is there with them?
Which, I mean, that, not to jump further ahead in the episode, but that's legitimately what it is. Like, we don't care that you're doing all this. We care that you're here. So you are already perfect. You are already number one to us. And that should be all that matters.
Like, sure, you'll be a father that your daughter can be proud of because, like, hey, look, he's a professional athlete, but you won't be her father because you won't be there for her.
Which is why it's great that he apologizes in the end. So I will move on. The Ryusoulgers see a monster rampaging. They Ryusoul change and roll call. Red uses basically a stink bomb power up and it hits everyone, but it actually works on the monster. But then Cleon summons Grunts, protect the Minosaur, and explains that she's growing it while it's attacking her. These things are just mindless, berserking monsters. And then Tangjo shows up and pretty much slices the dam in half to end the fight. Pretty epic. Thoughts?
The fungus is a girl?
Oh, I just called it a girl because it's like in pink and wearing shorts. I don't know. I think it's a girl. I'm not sure.
I mean, we were misled with that before. Lucky Roo.
I mean, I just saw it as like another Lucky Roo.
Same here.
Yeah, but at least he was in like boyish colors. I don't know. Who knows? The mushroom monster. But anyways, green energy starts flying out of Mishima while he's in the hospital. Ko and Ui try to find his family, and Asuna and Melto follow the energy. That's kind of convenient. It'll lead you to the monster before it turns freaking giant, and you don't even need that. So Mishima's family tells them that they still love him, even if he isn't the best fencer. And then Pink and Blue start to stall the Minosaur from attacking Mishima's rival. That's what his negative emotions are about. Just defeating his rival. And then Mishima's daughter recognizes the sketch of a Kishiryu. Ko finds Tiramigo playing with some kids. But of course he rushes to stop the Minosaur. He puts up a pretty good fight, but then he gets stabbed and collapses on a building. Pretty cool shots here. And any thoughts?
Sorry, I was looking into Cleon, who does a female voice actress, so probably is a girl after all. So the fart joke was whatever, but Tank Joe shows up and Cleon like gives him like, oh hey, I give you this many points. I kind of like that Tank Joe, just stern and serious as he is, was actually like, what can I do with these points? It's just a little banter between villains is never a bad thing. And in this context, I can't tell if he was like playing into the joke or if he was actually just like calling it out as stupid, and I like that.
Like, honestly, I kind of hope it's a legitimate thing. Only so that way it's not so much of just, hey, I'm just being childish because I'm the little character. I want it to be like Cleon's just like in charge of doling out points for what the fuck ever.
Even if it's just her own stupid thing that she's doing.
Right. It just as long as there's some validity to it. I don't care what it is of, even if it's, hey, I'll help. You can use this to get my help with, whatever. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I laughed out loud at that little gag between the villains. So let's see. The Ryusoulgers refuse to give up and fight the Minosaur themselves. That's kind of fun. Don't see a whole lot of Sentai trying to fight the monster without their mechs. Pretty interesting. But of course they can't win. Chiramigo sees their resolve and wakes up. Red makes their souls one and forms Kishiryu. And
Lucky Roo was also a girl!
What?
According to this website.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure Lucky Hiro's a boy.
That's the impression I got throughout the entire show.
But anyways.
Sorry.
Yeah. Red makes their souls one and forms Kishiryu. It's a pretty good mech fight. The Minosaur is defeated. And then Crayon notices someone nearby. Mishima is reunited with his family and apologizes. It's pretty heartwarming. Ui is going to upload the mech fight when Crayon teleports behind her. Then we cut to Green and Black training. They notice a cloaked figure nearby. He tells them that he's been looking for them. Very interesting. Any thoughts?
Sorry, Vashi, can you go first?
Yeah, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit, because I realized on our end we skipped over notes because we got stuck on the points thing. I love the fact that Red's mech was literally just chilling in a fucking zoo, in plain fucking sight. Because usually these things are like hidden or whatnot. No, he's just, hey, he's over at the zoo. You guys want to go get him? The Melto and Asuna fighting the Minosaur that's already giant was awesome, even if it was ineffective overall. Seeing that they're useful outside of the mech in those situations is a nice change of pace, even if it isn't completely effective. But they can do enough to slow him down. In this case, still Ko got his mech. Not entirely sure how I feel about Ko just naturally understanding the mech, but that's kind of one of those whatevers because that just always happens, and it always bothers me every time. The fact that they did the fart joke again was kind of meh. I understand why they did, because it was one of those, hey, it worked the first time, let's do it again. That's just logistics. But in of itself, I felt that was something that could have just not been done in general. They could have done something else to make a gag. And I have to ask this. The Kishiryu in this is literally just the red mech, correct?
This one, yeah. Last episode, Pink and Blue were already attached to it, but here they have not rediscovered them.
Okay. And they're both called Kishiryu, or however the fuck you pronounce that.
Kishiryu.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it is called the same thing despite being different combinations. Good to know. I thought I was going crazy. But I know I wasn't here for the last podcast, but oh my god, do I love the mech fights in this show. There's just something about practical suit effects that I've always enjoyed. It's part of what got me into Toku in itself, in terms of like watching the old Godzilla movies and like the old monster kaiju movies and Ultraman and whatnot. So to see that come back and be the forefront of what these fights are for mechs is fantastic. And I love that this particular mech is just very, very agile and nimble and runny and jumpy, and they did an amazing job on the suit for that to be a possibility. Because anybody who's ever cosplayed in big, bulky stuff like this knows it's a pain in the ass to move. You know, just being nimble enough to walk in like specific patterns and whatnot is difficult. So to be able to run, jump around, and all that shows fantastic skill work on the mech suit actor. It's fantastic.
So I could have also done without the second fart joke during a serious moment where they're like facing their own like dilemma and actual crisis. I'm like fine with Red knowing how to utilize the mech, because the Kishiryu seem to have their own sentience, so I'm fine with like, oh, it was like a telepathic explanation. I took a quick look, and with blue and pink together, the mech is Kishiryu Fortress or Kishiryu 3 Knights.
Okay, the reason why I asked that is because that wasn't pointed out in the last episode.
Probably not.
As per the translation that I watched. Or, well, that we watched.
Could be that it wasn't, like, actually dubbed that yet.
Right, it just kind of just... Because I think even vocally they just called it the Kishiryu.
It does bother me a little bit that it was just Red's mech this time around. Like, I gave it a pass last week because, like, oh, Red happened to be the one to go and get the mech because his mentor took the initiative on that and said, hey, we're gonna go do this. But here it's literally just Red's mech because. But if they're easing us into, like, getting the other mechs back for next week, then I can overlook it. The fight scene was awesome. These, like, it seems like the big thing that they're doing is like the actual like mech fights are getting the big choreography here. So that's interesting. Hope to see them continue doing that forward.
On a side note, between the two henshins that we got between earlier in the episode last week and the one we got at the end and that we got today, I kind of like the older one, the one from the other day better, from last week better. Just in terms of like overall appearance. Because I hate those little night things that just pop up and surround them. It just looks weird. But oh my god, do I love the pose they make when they transform.
The dancing knights is weird. Because why are they there? Why are they dancing?
Like, I mean, even ignoring that, is like, if you look at the two that they used, you have the one that was more graphical in terms of, like, overall aesthetics, which is the one from last week, which it looks crisper, cleaner, more... To me, it's got more oomph. Whereas this is just, we're gonna be showy for the sake of being showy. It's one of those, to me, it's like, they're going, hey, look, all that money we took out of the CG fights, this is where we put it.
Like, like with Kishiryu, they danced before they transformed, and that was given an in-show explanation. Like, hey, you're drawing your power from the earth, and that is the earth's power flowing through your body. Literally, the rhythm of the earth. But here, dancing knights? Dancing knights.
I guess the only explanation is a poorly timed joke. We can dance if we want to. Can leave your friends behind. I mean, there's the fact that there's no explanation for it is the part that bugs me the most. And then, like I said, it's like it doesn't look as crisp and clean and whatnot as it did last week. Now, when they were Melto and Asano were running down the bridge and transformed, looked fucking amazing. I liked that simple, clean presentation for it. This just looks clunky and unnecessary. And then with the preview was not how I thought that was going to go with the Yui and Cleon thing.
Well, you thought they were gonna be friends?
Oh no, because and it's only because of the way they did the opening, which made me even remotely suspect it. Is they kind of transition, instead of it being like a typical transition from like her dad to her, it was like he faded out. Like it seemed like teleporty, stuff like that. So my brain went, there's a chance he's a shit dick. So when the fact that nothing was said and she just pops up behind her, my brain went, psychically created monster. Which, we know is not the case because that would just be too easy. But yeah, it was one of those, like, as soon as it popped up, I'm like, so she's really Cleon.
Nope.
It would have been a nice play, in all honesty. It's like, but yeah, it's something that Sentai doesn't do. No part of the good guy little mentor team, 9 times, actually as far as I'm aware of, ever are evil. Lucky Roo and Canderella don't.
Build.
I said Sentai.
Sorry.
And that one is literally Build himself and then the little spy woman in Build.
Sawa.
Yeah, Sawa. But like in Sentai, it's like that doesn't happen. The good member team they're always good. They may have screwed up in the past, and in some instances created the problem, but they're always good. The two and that actually does include Canderella and Lucky Roo from the end of Kyoryuger and Kyoryuger Brave, where they're literally fucking Tauren. As in, they are acting as Tauren, not the inappropriateness.
Like, they're the new, like, mentors.
Yes.
By default. I do like that Cleon is going after her next. Because normally, with these kinds of shows, the people close to the heroes are reserved for special events later on. But here, it's like, no, let's target the people close to them right now. Let's hit them where it hurts and get it over with.
And the sad thing is the basis of the attack isn't anything beyond, hey, these guys are attached to her. It's, oh no, she was with them. Like, she was physically there and went, yeah, I'm going to attack her because she's here. That's how I look at it. Instead of it being the standard, you guys are close to these characters, so we're going to hit you where it hurts. It's just literally, you were 5 feet from them and helping them today. Sucks to be you.
The next victim.
I did not have to go far.
Did you talk about how the monsters work basically the same way as X-Aid?
Yeah. I specifically pointed that out. And you're not wrong. It is literally Ex-Aid. The only difference is these monsters get giant as this shit happens.
Right.
Oh, and you can visibly follow the trail. Which, to me, that's just a little easy. They better find a way to fix that, or that's just going to be kind of stupid.
Nah, I'm sure it's fine.
Either that or just find a way for them to get stalled every week. Oh, wait, they've got grunts they haven't used yet. Well, effectively yet.
We've got villains we haven't even seen yet, though. Like, there's clearly more than just Cleon and Tank Joe working for the Druidons. So, I'm sure that we'll get a few oddballs thrown in. A few wild cards.
Right. Which that was another thing I liked about the opening is how they shadowed out all the additional villains. Which I like when Sentai and Writer do that, where they alter the opening based upon characters you've met and or characters who've died. I like that.
Or like at the beginning of Lupat, where Dogranio is having like the banquet, and you can see like all the future villains just around the table.
Yeah, and then they just all disappear.
Gotta get to work.
But yeah, I like that kind of thing. And I'm also curious about the random dude who just showed up where Green and Black were training. Only because it's, hey, look, new character. Is he going to be one of the mentors that die?
Or is he actually a villain, or what? We're already getting wild cards. Because we don't know who this guy is.
Though, I do have to eat, since I will openly say it on the podcast, I am eating crow with this series. With every step that we heard coming, but with the build up to this show, and Rai will agree with me, everything we heard sounded like a ripoff of Ryusoulger.
Kishiryu.
Yeah, Kishiryu, sorry. Ryusoulger seems like a ripoff of Kishiryu, which is not still not entirely wrong. But this show has done very, very good strides to make it unique and different.
It's establishing its own identity.
Rather than just playing off one that already exists. There's the obvious similarities.
But then there are the notable differences.
Right.
The Druidons here didn't kill the dinosaurs. They fucking fled when the comet struck. And so the Debos army killed the dinosaurs.
Right. Apparently.
If you try to connect them all to all the Sentai worlds together, then the Druidons were at war with the dinosaurs. At the same time that Bandora lived, when the Debos army came to the Earth, the Druidons fucking bailed and got the hell out. And
but Bandora got stuck in a dumpster, and
Bandora failed to defeat the dinosaurs and got sealed away.
And then the dinosaur Sentai got sealed away.
In case Bandora ever came back. The Debos army came in and wiped out all the dinosaurs.
And then got buried in the earth.
Then, modern day later, Bandora wakes up, the Jew Rangers wake up, and Bandora goes, hey, no more dinosaurs. Cool. Next on my list, children.
Then, oh shit, dinosaurs are back.
Yeah, and then the Jew Rangers bring back the dinosaurs. Then the Debos army minions wake up again like, huh, humans it's alright, we're gonna kill humans now, because boss says so. And the Kyryugers wake up and bring back dinosaurs to kill them.
So far, each step of the way has been, oh shit, dinosaurs.
And then now the Druid...
That's been the
and now the
boss's response.
Druidons are back, like, hey, okay, guess we're gonna do this now. Let's make Minosaurs out of humans.
Because dinosaurs
And
don't
now
exist anymore.
dinosaurs.
Like, literally, it's like every step of the way, it's like, hey, awesome, dinosaurs don't exist anymore. Time to take over the world. Fuck, where'd you get the dinosaur at? How did we miss it? Like, and thank you for doing exactly what I was wanting someone to do.
What?
Because I was
Make a timeline?
Yes, because I was about to make the comment of which fucking timeline is right, because we now have 3.
All of them. The Druidons abandoned the Earth, Bandora failed her mission, and then the Day-Boss army actually killed the dinosaurs. And one of the Day-Boss army monsters was actually the meteor. That is, like, a thing.
Right, because he's also the first boss that gets killed when Kyryuger starts. But yeah, that was... Thank you, because I've been sitting there going, well, thank you for rewriting my history 3 different fucking times. And then you were able to put it as a way for all of it to be right.
Yep.
It's just we've gotten small pieces of it.
Because, like, at least in, like, the Shell Factory translations of Zyuranger, they never say Bandora succeeded in killing the dinosaurs. They just say she tried and was sealed away for it.
Right. Like, this is something I want when they do, like, the anniversary movie. Because you know they're going to do, like, they have to do some type of dinosaur anniversary thing. If they don't, they failed at their mission.
And if any of you are wondering, what about Abaranger? Those dinosaurs are from a different universe.
They came to a portal. But I want it to have those 3 and all 3 of them to sit down and figure out what the fuck happened. I want this exact conversation that we just had to happen inside Sentai. I want it, I need it, and you know they'd make a bunch of money doing it.
Well, we already had the Heisei send-off, so I'm not too sure. But that's it for this episode. Any final thoughts? It was pretty fun. Looking forward to next week. Getting to see Green and Black.
Yeah, despite a couple of nitpicks, this was a solid episode that helps the show establish its own identity. So I'm really hoping that it lives up to its own potential going forward.
Same. This 2 episodes in, and its series is it's taking off in the right direction, especially coming off a series that was as good as Loop had. So to have this not go, having, as I put it, the Zio effect of, ah, crap, here we go. You know, let's sit down and watch this because I have to. I want to watch this. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic start. And I am looking forward to seeing Red and Green in the series to see how they interact with the other real soldiers versus the way that played out, what little bit they interacted with the previous Sentais in the Super Battle. But yeah, all in all, great show so far. And with that, I would like to thank you all for listening. We will be back tomorrow for Kamen Rider Zio. And I believe Beast Morphers is on break this week. So the Thursday podcast instead will be for Kamen Rider Build Be the One. That'll be at the same time as all of ours. So 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So feel free to check that one out. And thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.